What if the greatest comeback story isn't just about a team, but about the very players we thought had lost their magic? What if the whispers of doubt surrounding two of the NFL's brightest stars are about to be silenced by a roar of redemption? For every fantasy football manager who felt the sting of disappointment last season, and for every San Francisco 49ers faithful who watched their offensive juggernaut sputter, a new narrative is emerging. ESPN's fantasy football guru, Eric Karabell, has cast his gaze into the crystal ball of the 2025 season, and his projections paint a picture of resurgence, placing two cornerstone 49ers at the top of his bounce-back candidates list. Get ready, because the stage is set for Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey to reclaim their thrones, transforming past setbacks into future triumphs. Last season, the fantasy landscape was littered with the remnants of shattered expectations, and for many, Brock Purdy's 2024 campaign felt like a step backward from his meteoric rise. Remember 2023? It was the stuff of legends. Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant turned franchise savior, defied all odds, etching his name into 49ers history with a single-season record of 4,280 passing yards and a dazzling 31 touchdowns against just 11 interceptions. He was a revelation of fantasy football cheat code, delivering consistent QB1 numbers week after week. But then came 2024, a season marred by an unforeseen plague of injuries to key offensive weapons. The symphony of the 49ers attack, once so harmonious, became disjointed. Purdy's numbers, while still respectable, reflected this turmoil. He threw for 3,864 yards, a solid mark, but his touchdown tally plummeted to 20. And perhaps more concerning, his interceptions climbed to 12. For fantasy managers, his average of 17.8 points per game placed him 13th among NFL quarterbacks, a far cry from his elite 2023 output. The question lingered, was 2023 a fluke, or was 2024 merely a blip? Eric Karabell, with his astute fantasy insights, firmly believes it was the latter. He points to the undeniable impact of the surrounding cast's health. The QB number 6 of 2023 regressed a bit in 2024, certainly in part due to the health of other players around him. Karabell penned. He emphasizes that despite the statistical dip, Purdy's underlying efficiency remained elite, finishing third in yards per attempt and showcasing an unexpected surge in rushing production. The 49ers' swift long-term investment in Purdy speaks volumes, a testament to their unwavering faith in his abilities, and a clear acknowledgement of his monstrous 2023 season. Karabell's verdict is clear. Purdy possesses the skills to be a safe QB1 option, yet his current draft stock doesn't reflect that potential, making him a tantalizing value pick for those willing to look beyond the surface of a challenging year. But if Purdy's 2024 was a regression, Christian McCaffrey's was a full-blown nightmare. To call his season disappointing would be an understatement of epic proportions. The reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year, a man who had redefined fantasy dominance for non-quarterbacks in 2022 and 2023, started the 2024 campaign on the injured reserve list with Achilles tendonitis. The bad luck continued, culminating in a season-ending ACL injury. In between these devastating bookends, McCaffrey managed to appear in just 4 games, a shadow of his former self, never once resembling the electrifying force that had once terrorized offenses and fantasy scoreboards alike. He failed to score a single touchdown, a statistic that, for a player of his caliber, is almost unfathomable. Karabell, however, sees beyond the wreckage of 2024, envisioning a triumphant return for the versatile running back in 2025. He recounts the painful saga of McCaffrey's injury-riddled season. Fantasy dominance as a non-QB in the 2022 and 2023 seasons hurt both the 49ers and fantasy investors last season as a preseason calf injury. And Achilles' injury delayed his debut, not for just a few weeks, but until week 10 in November. McCaffrey's average of just 12 fantasy points per game in 2024, ranking him a lowly 27th among NFL running backs, has understandably left many fantasy managers with bitter taste and a cautious approach to early 2025 drafts. His limited playing time and recent injury history have created a palpable trepidation. Yet, this very hesitation, Karabell argues, could transform McCaffrey into one of the biggest steals of the upcoming draft. McCaffrey won't be the number 1 pick in 2025 drafts, but many will write him off in the early rounds due to extreme risk of missing games. Carabel notes, highlighting that McCaffrey has only played double-digit games in 2 of the last 5 seasons. This is precisely where the opportunity lies. If he can stay healthy in 2025, the potential for him to revert to his elite, league-winning form is immense, offering an unparalleled upside for those brave enough to embrace the risk. The narrative for the 49ers offense in 2025, according to ESPN projections, is one of collective healing and explosive potential. For fantasy managers, this translates into a high-stakes game of risk and reward. Purdy, with a full complement of healthy weapons around him, could easily reascend to top-tier QB1 status, providing a stable, high-floor option. McCaffrey, if he can finally shake off the injury bug, remains arguably the most dominant non-QB asset in fantasy football, capable of single-handedly winning weeks. The question isn't if they have the talent, but if they can stay on the field. Their bounce back isn't just a fantasy football storyline. It's a critical component of the 49ers' championship aspirations. So, as you prepare for your 2025 fantasy drafts, remember the lessons of 2024, but don't let them blind you to the possibilities of 2025. The stage is set for Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey to remind us all why they were once, and could very well be again, the undisputed kings of the fantasy gridiron. Their redemption story could be your championship story. What are your thoughts on Purdy and McCaffrey's bounce-back potential? Are you willing to take the risk, or will their 2024 struggles keep you away? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're as excited as we are about the upcoming fantasy season and the potential for these incredible comebacks, hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive insights and breaking news.